Hello, I am Rinkel Sardara. In today's session, we are going to discuss HTML form and PHP. Let's take a look what we are going to see in this lecture. We are going to focus on basic HTML controls. That is how control used, when control used, and why control used. We are going to see all these controls. First is text input, then text input with only email address, then text area, select menu, radio button, after that submit button and form tag. As you can see, all these controls are very basic and very useful whenever you are going to develop and web applications. Let's focus on text input. As you know that whenever you want to create a form, at that time you have to use HTML tag. You also know that there are two main parts of HTML tag, that is one head and another one is body. Here I haven't written a body tag because I just want to show the um, controls, nothing else. So, right? So here I directly written the table tag. In the table tag, I have written tr tag. I have created one row and two columns. In the first column, that is in the first TD, I have written a name. And the second column, I pushed in control, that is text box. To create a text box, you have to write input type text is equal to text and name is equal to name. Here you can write any name, that is this is the user defined. You can name, you can give n1, you can give n2, whatever you want to write you can write. But do remember, whenever you are making any web applications, then give proper name to the controls. After that, I have added the size attribute. I have given value 20. Size, that is how much your text box length, that is how many characters you can include in the text box size. Then style is equal to, I have written border is 3px. That is, if you are not writing this then text box is not visible, but for the video purpose I would like to show the text box properly, so I've used a style attribute. And in that style attribute I have created a border with the pixel, that is 3, width of that particular border is 3 pixel. I've written here solid, that means I don't want the dotted line or anything else. I just want the solid line, so here I've written solid. The next is required, that is very important. Whenever you want to say that this particular parameter is important, that is this particular value is important for your form, at the time you have to write required. Without this value your form would not submit. That is, if you want to do this type of restriction, then you must have to write required here. So this is the text box. Next is the text input with only email address. That is what you want to do. You have to create a text box, in that you have to insert only email address. Your form would not take any input other than the email address. If you want to do like this, then you have to use input type email. In the previous slide we have written the input type is equal to text, but in this case we have written input type is equal to email. Name is equal to email. Again, you can write anything here, e1, e2, whatever you want to write you can write here. Then here I have given again size is 20 and border 3 pixel and solid, whatever I have shown in the previous slide. Again I have written all these things as it is, just changes. Input type is email and name is email, nothing else. Now whenever you type email, what happen? This is the output. If you are going to, if you are creating file of HTML, or you can .php extension, if you create file with this, then what happen? Then and you are going to execute that file, then what happen? If you are typing just wrinkle in that particular text box, then what happen? It will give the red line around the text box. That is, you haven't entered email address in that particular text box. That is, it is an error. When you are going to insert the email address, at that time this red line is invisible or disappear, right? So if you want to give this type of restrictions, then you have to write type is equal to email. Next is text area. When you want to give an address or comment and feedback, right? At the time you have to use text area. For the text area, what you have to write? You have to write text area is equal to name is equal to comments. Again, this you can give anything. Here I have written rows is 3 and columns is 30. That is, you can enter 3 rows in that particular text box and column is 30. That is, you can enter 30 columns, 30 characters in a one line in that particular text box. Next is a select menu. In the select menu, what you have to do? Select menu, that is, you have a multiple options, and from that you have to select one. There are also other options. You can select and multiple options from that also, but for that you have to take an array. But right now we are not discussing that. We are just focusing that there are multiple options, and you have to display it in list down box, and you have to select anyone from that. Then what you have to write? You have to use take select, and that you have to give name, title, and require, that is, you must have to select Mr., Mrs. and Miss from the menu, right? And in that I have given 3 options, that is, whatever options is there. If there are 4 options, then you have to give 4 option tag. If you are 2 options, then here you have to give 2 options tag. But right now I have 3 options, so here I have used the 3 option tag. And the first option tag I have given value Mr., and the second option tag I have given Mrs., and the third option tag I have given Miss. So this is the select menu. Next is radio button. Again you have a multiple options, and in the from that multiple options you have to select only one. At the time you have to use radio button. The syntax of the radio button is input type is equal to radio, name is the response, value is excellent and required. That is, from out of these 3, one must be selected. Here you have to keep in mind that input type is radio. That is, in the old tag I have written input type is radio. That is, I have taken a 3 input radio tag. But the name of each and every radio tag is same. That is, here response, response and response. But the value of each and every button, that is radio button, is different. That is, one has excellent, second one is okay and boring and so on. So this is the radio button. Next is submit button. That is, suppose you have typed in all control and next you want to just submit the value of all that control, then you have to use the submit button. For that, what you have to do? You have to type input type is equal to submit. You can write any name here. I have written submit, but you can type any name. Value is send my feedback. Whatever you write here, it will visible to your button text, right? So if you are write only sand, then here it's you will find only sand. Here if you write sand button, then here you will get sand button. Next is form tag. Form tag is very important tag. It dictates where a form begins and ends. Every element of the form must be entered between these two tags. That is, whichever controls we have discussed till the time, that all controls you can put in the form tag. Form tag has a two important attributes, that is action and method. An action attributes indicates the page to which the form data should be submitted. As we are learning PHP, the action attribute always point to PHP script. In short, action tag means whatever you want to, that is, whenever you want to move your path, that is one web page to another web page, at that time the other web page URL file name should be written in the action tag. You can give either whatever, that is full path, or you can just give a that is relative path also, right? The method attribute tells the server how to transmit the data from the form to the handling script. That is action take tell you where you have to go, but through which transmit mode you have to transfer data, that is given in the method attribute. Basically, there are two ways to transmit the data, that is get and post. We will see in detail get and post, that is the difference between get and post, in the next session. Till then, you can do assignment, and if you find any query, then contact me. Thank you.